One of the things that's interesting about the text analysis response is that people think it's testing their writing skills, and it is to some degree. But I would argue that it's testing your reading skills more than it's testing your writing skills. And because of that, taking notes is vitally important as you read the passage. If we look back at the directions, there are two things you have to be looking for as you read the passage. The first is a central idea. You need to be reading it, trying to find what the main idea of the passage is. What is the core idea that the author is writing about? And secondly, you have to be looking for writing strategies. Now, you're only going to use one, but as you read, you should be looking for more than one to give yourself as many options as you can. So, how can you effectively look for two things at once? Well, that's easy. Don't. As you'll see at the top of the outline I'll give you, read the text twice. Read it once, looking for central ideas, and then read it a second time, trying to find relevant writing strategies. Let me explain. Here are the notes I took on the first page of the passage. You'll notice that there are two different colors, and if you look in the top left-hand corner, you'll see that I used green as I took notes the first time, as I was looking for the central idea, and I used orange the second read while I was looking for writing strategies. So let's take a closer look at the first read notes. Here's that first page again, but with just the green first read notes. And I didn't really know what the passage was going to be about, so I'm trying to piece it together. Up here, I'm trying to identify the main character. I'm looking at repetition right there, I noticed. I was putting things together, that the main character is blind. I was trying to figure out how she sees the world, figuratively speaking, since she can't see. She uses sounds. And I was identifying that in that paragraph. I was identifying the influence of her father here. But at this point, I was still just trying to figure out what a main idea was. I didn't have it yet. I was identifying the fact that she's brave and she's curious. On the second page, I found something I thought might be important. And it wasn't until here, at the bottom, that I felt I found a central idea, or something that would help me identify the central idea. So let's say I was trying to find the writing strategies while I was doing this. The writing strategies I would have been identifying would have had very little to do, possibly, with the central idea I ended up coming to, which is that I didn't come to a central idea until the end. So now if I go back and I look for writing strategies, I can focus on writing strategies that have to do with the central ideas I identified. And I identified two. The first one says, for those who have lost their sense of sight, the world is still full of life and color. And then I found another one, through curiosity and ambition, a handicapped person can overcome many obstacles. I didn't know which one I thought was strongest, so I just identified a couple that could work, knowing that as I read it a second time, I'll be able to identify which one is stronger. So here's the benefit of doing this on two separate reads. Now, as I go through my second read and I try to identify writing strategies, all the writing strategies I pay attention to are only writing strategies that go with the central ideas I found. So I don't have the clutter of 75% of the writing strategies I found being irrelevant to the central idea I later identified. If you have your central idea or a basic central idea as you begin reading a second time, then the writing strategies you pay attention to will only go with that central idea, and you won't get distracted by other things. I won't get distracted by a simile that has nothing to do with the central idea I found, I won't get distracted by other things. I can focus. So everything I marked here in orange, they all have to do with the central idea I found. And on the second page, same thing. I'm still finding things that will work for me and the central idea. And in the end, I can choose which central idea I found the most for. I found more writing strategies about the second central idea than I did about the first. And it seems stronger to me, so that's the one I pick. And that's how you should take notes for a Part 3 text analysis response.